Hi guys, I'm doing another video today because before Christmas I kind of promised that I was going to do a load of vlogs on different issues that were bothering you guys and just let you know whether I felt that CBD would be helpful or kind of other lifestyle changes that you could make that would help you deal with those issues. Unfortunately, because of the MHA RA ruling, which now classes CBD as a medicine, I'm not able to make any medical claims. So as a kind of general idea of what you can do, I'm just going to give you some sort of pointers, and this is pretty much across the board when it comes to anything that you might be suffering with, whether that be issues with depression and anxiety or in fact physical ailments. So as I've spoken about before, number one would be your mindset. So getting yourself into a mindset where you believe that healing is already yours. You are living as a well and healthy person in your head. That is number one. And therefore, as much as is possible, you are emulating the behavior of what a healthy person would do. So practicing self-care, eating, this is when it goes on to the physical stuff. So eating as much fresh food as you possibly can. Incorporating raw foods into your diet, so lots of fruit, lots of salads, lots of vegetables, kind of really obvious stuff. Keeping away from processed food, keeping away from alcohol, which is a depressant and just bad for the body in general. I mean, basically it is a poison. Just because it's legal and sold by the government does not mean that it's safe. It's kind of obvious. So really, I can't stress that one enough, actually. Alcohol needs to go if at all possible. If you must insist on drinking alcohol, then at least go for an organic one, and at least, something that you kind of know what's in it, because alcohol is one of those areas where labeling is very ambiguous, but alcohol is just not good for you anyway. So it really is to want to go in the bin if you possibly can. Other than that, you want to be keeping your medications and what you use for treating anything as natural as possible. I'm not saying ditch your medications. I'm not a doctor. I just want to make that clear. If you have any questions as regards, what you should be doing in terms of medication that you're on, you need to speak to your doctor about that. I'm not telling you to stop taking it. I'm just telling you basically what I do. And so I treat everything naturally as much as possible, apart from my thyroid glands, and I do take a low dose of thyroxine to treat that. What I've spoken about in my videos before, I'm trying basically to come off that, and I'm using various things like CBD oil and frankincense, and I have actually managed to really reduce that thyroxine right down now, which is fantastic, and I'm hoping that given another 6 months I won't be using that at all. So yeah, mindset, your diet, making sure that you treat things as naturally as you possibly can. And then there's the obvious ones, which are pretty powerful and really good in that regard. So you've got CBD oil, obviously, and then there's frankincense, which you can use as an essential oil for skin conditions, and you can also take in capsule form. If you take it in capsule form, it's called boswellic acid, and you can get that pretty much any health store. If you just do a Google search for it, you will find that quite easily. So that's boswellic acid, or sometimes it's called boswellia. And so you take that in a capsule form. That's great for treating any kind of inflammation, so arthritis, various chronic pain conditions, along with CBD would be particularly helpful. Turmeric is another one, great anti-inflammatory, really good for pain. All of these also are anti-cancer, so they're fantastic for kind of, prevention, as well as when you've actually got something. Along with a plant-based diet, if you are going on a plant-based diet, then you need to be supplementing with B12, and I actually use that in a spray form. And I also eat a product called Engevita, which you can get, and you can actually sprinkle that on your food. It's a little bit like a kind of vegan grated cheese type thing. It pretty much goes with everything. That's high in B12, so you can use that as well. Vitamin D at this time of year, because I'm somebody who kind of came from, a strong belief in supplements, and I spent a lot of money on them, and I've got a cupboard absolutely stashed full of these things. I don't really use them anymore, other than B12, like I said, and vitamin D sometimes, because we are pretty starved of sunlight in the UK. But if you're getting outside for a walk every day, which is the other thing that I wanted to come on to, getting outside in nature, walking, exercising, getting your body moving, then you should be getting at least some vitamin D in that way anyway, but you can also add that in there. If you do these things that I've just mentioned, this is going to pretty much give you the best chance of healing in every single area of your life, no matter what it is that you're suffering from. So I think it's important not to get kind of like too focused on that one thing and just be looking at health and wellness overall. So instead of looking at the condition and and kind of in some way labeling yourself, because this is what, of course, the regular health service does, is it kind of, it tells you you've got a blah blah, so you're suffering from blah blah. You then internalize that, you become somebody who's ill, you become somebody who's suffering with blah blah. Do you see what I mean? And then the more it's talked about, the more attention you give to it, the more you are someone that's suffering with it. So I think it's really important to step into wellness in your attitude through practicing self-care as well, and self-love, by looking after yourself, doing all the things that I suggested. This is basically the route to healing across the board, no matter what it is that you're suffering from, no matter how trivial it might seem, or no matter how serious it might seem. The process is exactly the same. So I'm sorry that I kind of can't go into your individual situation and tell you whether I think CBD is going to help you, because we're just not allowed to do that anymore because of this MHRA ruling classing CBD as a medicine, which is good news on one hand because we have recognition for its value, but on the other hand, we are not currently licensed. Licenses are about £250,000 per product. We're not in that position at the moment, certainly, and we are kind of in process of finding out what it is that we need to do. Right now, we're not allowed to make medical claims. CBD is still 100% legal in the UK, so there's no issues for you as a customer. So I hope this video has been helpful in some way. Please do comment below or send me a message. You can let me know what you've been doing, because you might know about things that I don't know about that are really helpful. So I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, have a lovely day. Thanks a lot.